Let's talk about that feeling. You know the one? You've got something really important you should be doing, but you find yourself doing, well, literally anything else. And if you're like most of us, you probably beat yourself up and call it laziness. But what if I told you that's completely, totally wrong?
No, really. Just let that sink in for a second. You aren't lazy. That whole painful cycle of putting things off, feeling awful about it, and then telling yourself you lack discipline, it's not just a painful story, it's the wrong one.
See, procrastination isn't some character flaw or a failure of time management. It's actually your brain's ancient, hardwired survival response to a very simple thing, trying to avoid negative feelings.
To really get why, we need to look at the trap it creates. It's a loop, and if you've ever procrastinated, this is going to feel painfully familiar.
So it all starts here. A big project hits your desk, or maybe you just have to make an annoying phone call. Your brain immediately flags it with a feeling. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's self-doubt, or maybe it's just pure mind-numbing boredom. So what do? You reach for your phone to get a little mood boost, right? A quick hit of dopamine from scrolling. But that good feeling, it's super short-lived. And now the task is still there, but it's looming even larger. And you've added a nice layer of guilt and stress on top. So of course you avoid it again, because the bad feelings are even worse now. It's this vicious, self-feeding cycle.
So what is actually going on inside our heads when we're stuck in that loop? Well, it's pretty much a civil war between two very different parts of your brain.
Okay, so on one side, you've got your limbic system. This is one of the oldest, most powerful parts of your brain. Think of it as your emotional, impulsive toddler brain. It operates on a very simple rule. If it feels good, do it now. If it feels bad, run away. On the other side is your prefrontal cortex. This is the more evolved, rational CEO of your brain. It's the part that thinks about long-term goals and consequences. It knows you should do the work. The problem, that impulsive toddler is often way stronger than the CEO.
And this is the result. When you're faced with a task that feels unpleasant, your limbic system basically stages a hostile takeover. It screams, "Danger! This feels bad! Abort mission!" Your prefrontal cortex, your rational brain, tries to argue back, but your emotional brain wins the fight for that sweet short-term relief. And in the process, it takes all your long-term goals hostage.
And there's even a scientific name for the sneaky logic your brain uses to justify this whole thing. It's called temporal discounting. It's this weird mental glitch that tricks your brain into thinking that the reward you'll get for finishing the task later is less valuable than the good feeling you can get right now. It also convinces you that future you will somehow have more energy and motivation. So of course, doing it tomorrow always feels like the smart choice in the moment.
As the psychologist Dr. Tim Pikel says, it's your present self just trying to feel good now. It's basically passing the emotional problem off to your future self. And get this, on a neurological level, your brain kind of sees that future version of you as a total stranger. So hey, it's their problem, right?
And all of this leads to the single most important realization we can have about this whole mess. If we want to fix procrastination, we have to stop trying to be more productive and start getting real about what's actually causing it, our feelings.
I mean, this quote from Dr. Pikel just changes the entire game. It's not about your calendar or your to-do list app. It's not that you can't manage your time, it's that you're struggling to manage your emotions. The delay, that's just a symptom.
Okay, this is the key. You're not avoiding writing that report. You're avoiding the feeling of insecurity or the fear that it won't be good enough. You're not avoiding cleaning your house. You're avoiding the feeling of being bored and overwhelmed. The procrastination is just a coping mechanism for those difficult feelings. But over time, this cycle does something even worse. You delay, then you feel guilty. That guilt fuels that nasty inner critic, right? I'm so lazy. I'm just not cut out for this. That self-criticism chips away at your self-esteem, which makes the next task feel even more scary. And eventually, the behavior becomes who you think you are. You no longer just do procrastination, you are a procrastinator. And once that belief takes hold, it feels almost impossible to escape. Okay, so if this is really an emotional problem, how in the world do we fix it? Well, this is where almost everyone gets it completely backward.
Because your first instinct, my first instinct, is to think, ugh, I just need more willpower. I need to get motivated. I have to just force myself to do it. We try to bully our brains into action. But that is completely wrong. That's like trying to win a shouting match with your brain's fire alarm. It just doesn't work. The real solution isn't about pushing harder. It's about making it easier to start by lowering that emotional barrier. So if brute force is the wrong strategy, what's the right one? Let's talk about 3 really powerful ways to actually rewire your brain's response, all grounded in psychology.
All right, first, shrink the task until it's ridiculously, laughably small. So small that your emotional brain doesn't even see it as a threat. Don't think, write the report. Think, open the Word document. That's it. Or just commit to working for 2 minutes. Second, focus only on the very next physical action. Not the entire mountain you have to climb, just the first tiny step. This pulls you out of that overwhelming feeling and into a simple, concrete action. And third, and this is a big one, manage the emotion, not the clock. Acknowledge that feeling of I don't want to without judging yourself for it. The goal isn't to crush the feeling, it's to learn how to act while the feeling is still there.
Because here's the secret that everyone who seems productive understands: you've got it backward. Motivation doesn't create action. It's the other way around. Action creates motivation. Once you start, even in the smallest way, momentum builds. The motivation follows. Just getting started is literally everything.
So the next time you feel yourself starting to avoid something, don't ask, how can I force myself to do this? Instead, try asking a different question. What am I feeling right now that's making this hard? Because when you address the feeling first, you're not just getting more done, you're building a kinder and way more effective relationship with yourself.